Hey YouTube, this is Eddie. Still seems weird not to say Eddie's Tech Talk, but this is Eddie going to be talking today about watch packaging. You can see some examples. Partially I'm talking about the watch packaging because some of it's going to go, in the recycling bin soon, but some of it's not. And I'll see, and if there's interest, please comment down below. I have two friends of mine who actually have a degree in packaging. If you didn't know, that's something you can get a degree in. So in terms of the packaging materials and why you would choose a certain packaging material for one thing or one liquid or one product over another, and different costs and makeups and recyclability. If there's interest in that, let me know in the comments, and I will see if one of them will come on and kind of do a little interview. Today we're going to look at it much more from a superficial standpoint. So just when you get something, and watches by definition are really unneeded things. We collect them for fun, we collect them for milestones, we collect them because they look cool, but a cheap quartz watch, a Casio you could buy, is going to do the same job as a more expensive watch. So with that said, the fact that watch collecting is a little nonsensical in and of itself, I want to know from you, comment down below, how much does watch packaging mean to you, and is there ever a letdown? And for me, it does. For me, I really enjoy the experience of an unboxing. If you scroll back through this channel over time, there's been so many unboxings of phones, tablets, computers, different things. And I really do appreciate when a little more thought is put into that, because there's that saying, first impressions are everything. The box is your first impression. Now, if you buy a watch from an authorized dealer, you go into a Tudor, a Rolex, a Breitling store, then I suppose your first impression is a little bit different. But if you order something from a micro brand, direct to consumer, or you just order something online from a brand that has physical stores, your first impression is going to be the packaging. And so let's go over a couple different types of packaging I've received lately and kind of what I thought about it. Starting off first with the Vaer, and so that one I have over here. You can watch, I have actually really 1.5 videos on this one. This is the Vaer C5 Korean field watch. It's really cool, really like it, USA assembled. And I think it's 10 atmosphere waterproof, which I'm going to put that to the test. So full review of this will come soon after I actually get it in some water. But so that's the watch. And this is the packaging that watch came in. Came in a brown box, of course, getting shipped over. But then once I opened it, this is what I got. So pretty decent, packaging, I would say. Has get started with your new Vaer watch here. Help us spread the word. They want you to let your friends know and all that. There's this pull tab that comes up, and it actually just came out to try and get these two boxes out. One box has the strap that goes with the watch. So every Vaer watch, at least as of the time of this recording, you get a free strap as far as I could tell. This was no exception. So the strap, the khaki strap that I chose, which is actually this strap that's on the watch, was in this box. And then over here, we've got the watch box itself. And if I open that, nothing too crazy in there. There was a Vaer sticker, and then the certificate of assembly from the USA. So pretty decent unboxing. The Korean field here, the C5, as you can see, I think it was $300 retail, and I think that's what I paid. Actually, I paid a little less with a coupon, and it's okay. I mean, it does the job. It has branding, but it's nothing special. But I, at least personally, don't expect anything super special at the $300 price point, unless it's a special edition, a tie-in, a brand deal, something like that. So, fine packaging from Vaer, nothing crazy. This next one in front of me here, this is a Shinola box, and if you buy a Shinola outlet watch from either the outlet section of the website or the outlet store, you're going to get a box with similar proportions, but it's going to be just your classic paperboard box. This is what you would get if you bought something from a retail store that's not a special edition. Some of their special limited editions have different packaging. We'll talk about that. But if you just buy a run-of-the-mill Shinola, you're going to get this box. It has the Shinola wood box with the Shinola logo. Nothing around any of the other sides here. And then if I open it, I mean, it's pretty cool, right? I really start to like this. And so this is any Shinola, unless, again, it's a certain model or edition. And so the run pricing, the pricing on the Runwells is about $695, $700. This watch I got secondhand on eBay. It was like $220, I think, and it was brand new, just from an eBay seller versus authentic. So you can tell though, right? If you paid $700, you're going to want that premium unboxing. Obviously, I paid a lot less and still got that. And I like that. I like that the impression is, okay, there's actually a magnet here. So we're going to open that, you know, right? And then it can have this satisfying clunk. Then when we open this, there's actually a booklet in here. So it talks about, and this has changed over time too. I've had quite a few Shinolas, but this is a journey of quartz and steel. These are quartz. So it talks about the way that Shinola started a little bit, talking about their commitment to quality, the movement that's inside, which is a quartz movement. But, you know, this is really cool, right? I mean, this is something that I really like in really any watch box. I want to know a little history, the story of the brand, the story of maybe that individual watch, if that matters. In this case, it's much more about the brand and, you know, a lot of the assembly being in the USA for it. And so I really like that because, again, I think people buy stories a lot of the time. They don't necessarily buy products as much as I think we do. We buy stories. Oh, well, I really get behind USA Assembly, or I really get behind the heritage and the, you know, I don't know, the motorsport racing history of something like a Tag Heuer, or I really love the, you know, the prestige of Rolex. It's synonymous with like Wimbledon, right? We buy the stories a lot more, I think, than the product sometimes. So I like that they have that. This is just the registration code. There's this little foam insert probably to protect it in packaging. And then the watch pillow, and it just sat on this watch pillow. So that's a really nice unboxing. I'm partial to Shinola. I'm a Detroiter, so, you know, I'm always down for that. But I mean, a really great unboxing experience, I think, befitting a $700 you know, purchase, just to look nice, and even cheaper. You know, you can get some cheaper sometimes with that, but that's just your retail rate. Another box I got this Citizen Eco Drive Star Wars Rebel Pilot watch. So we've got that here, you can see it. Cool watch, quartz, chronograph, Eco Drive, rock solid. I think I paid about $250 for it, but the retail originally was in the 400s, I believe. And this is where I started to be a little disappointed, because like I said, I don't expect a ton of great packaging, maybe something in like a Veyer, maybe just run-of-the-mill is fine. But for something like a brand tie-in with Star Wars and Lucasfilm, I love the watch. This isn't a review of the watch. I think this is a great watch for the price, the features that it offers. I think the build quality is pretty dang high. It's a good watch for the price, no doubt. But the packaging is just really generic. This was the Rebel Pilot edition, and they have some different editions, but as far as I can tell, I mean, there's no delineation. Everything's coming in the same box. Star Wars Citizen, there's light side on this side, dark side on this side. Of course, right, Rebel Pilot, that's kind of a light side deal. So it would have been nice to have maybe a little more box customization. It just has the SKU on the back here. So a generic box for a licensed product, right? I think personally, when you're buying something that's licensed, right, you might get some more casual watch people versus, you know, those who are like trying to buy a Tudor Black Bay. So I think the unboxing with a licensed product is even a little bit more important. So we've got Star Wars Citizen up here. A nice touch. May the Force be with you. I do like that. But I just can't get over how generic it kind of all seems, right? I'm sure all the Star Wars watches go in this box. And then in here, in the little can, we've got not a watch pillow, but sort of this watch ring. So again, I don't know. But maybe you don't care, right? This is kind of the whole point of the video. I'm going to talk about some watches I got and their boxes, because some of them, like this one, might get recycled. Maybe. The Veyer is definitely getting recycled. And just how much does the watch packaging mean to you? I love premium unboxing experiences with a great watch to go with it, right? With the Citizen, I would say we got a great watch. I think this is a fabulous execution of the license, the Star Wars license. This isn't a cash grab, a mail-it-in watch. This is a really nice watch, but the packaging didn't reflect that. Whereas the Shinola, some would say this isn't quite as nice of a watch with the movements and those types of things. I would disagree for various reasons, but I think that this was a watch befit of its packaging. And the same thing with the Korean Field watch. It's a micro brand. I got it for I think $250 something. And to get it in the packaging I did, I think from a micro brand, I'll just give them a little bit more of a pass. a little more no frills. But when you're talking about, Citizen, a historic brand with a Star Wars license, to get it's a Star Wars box, but it's pretty generic. Didn't like that, especially for how nice the watch turned out to be. Now this is a really, really unique box, and really this was one of my favorite things here, the Canfield Speedway Lap 7. It's the watch on my wrist right now. I talked about this in another video, but this was a gift that I got from my wife to commemorate our marriage. I love the watch, it's awesome. Has a Sellita SW500, I think, or 510. But this is a cool box. I mean, it's like a mini toolbox type thing. It's got the Shinola branding across, and this is a really expensive watch. Again, I wouldn't buy it for myself, but it's a really cherished gift, and this comes in like a great gift packaging, and just a really great keepsake. The unboxing is sort of its own experience, which I personally enjoy. Let me know if you do in the comments. It's got this flip down latch. We can then open it. And so similar to this wood box over here, we have the little foam pad to protect the watch. And this was kind of the biggest letdown is, I don't know, no pillow or anything. The watch is just sitting on the metal, the metal piece, right, when it was in there. But everything else was exceptional, right? The box is super high quality, really cool. If I open this, it just brings this up. It's got a full little insert that I can remove. And in the bottom, there's nothing in there, but in the insert, there's actually quite a bit. So in that insert, I'm not going to show, but I have a certificate of authenticity with my limited lifetime warranty. We've got the hands at 9 and 3. Another thing telling me to register, hands at 9 and 3 booklet. So if I open that, this is again more about the watch and pretty high quality paper, talking about the history a little bit of the big three auto engineers and how need for speed and all that. This is a read for speed because it's a chrono, and so it's got this some more really cool art. Talks about how to use the various functions. Has some really cool art. This is talking about my specific watch here. It's not a generic watch printout. And it's just really, really cool. Pick your unit, a distance, whether it's a Daytona mile, Le Mans kilometer, or 2 orange cones. It's really racing themed. It's really neat. Talks about the movement under the hood. There we go. Sellita SW510BH. It's awesome. I mean, this is an incredible little book, to go over the theme and the history, which again, I really enjoy. But that's not all that's in here, right? We got a cool box. We got the cool manual, but we got some other things as well. We've got the Canfield Speedway Lap 7, which is my specific model. Enter the fast lane. Talks again about the Lap 7. Just really, really unique, really cool. And it might have slid down. Oh, here it is. I'm like, there's an exclusive poster. So it gives me this little poster. I'm not going to put it up. I'm going to leave it in the box. But again, right, when you're talking about different levels to watchmaking, I think the box is a place, I know I said I give the micro brands a pass, but I think it's a place where they can really class up what their watches mean to people and kind of how they're perceived. I think the box is more important than people realize. I think it's probably tempting to say, oh, we're going to put all of our resources in making the best spec watch. But I think it's about the experience and the story. That's why people buy watches. And so I'm always a sucker for a good unboxing versus something, phoned in or mailed in. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Does the unboxing experience of the watch matter to you? Or if the watch is delivered in a paper bag, but it has a little bit better specs than a watch that isn't, you take it. Let me know, and I will see you in the next one.